Hey guys, I have a lot of episodes to cover in like 4 days because that's when season 3 starts, which is really exciting but also really bad because I need to finish these vlogs, but I will do it. You're probably going to see a new vlog from me every day now until season 3 starts, just so I can finish these. So hopefully that's good for you guys. Definitely make sure if you're watching these, like, to like them and share them around, spread them around. I want more people to watch them. These newer ones aren't getting as many views as the older ones, so I don't know if people just don't know that I'm doing them. So that would be a big help if you could do that. But yeah, anyway, first episode is House of Trades, House of Magic. Alright, so there are 3 arcs that are going on in this episode. The first is the Piper arc. First thing that happens at the beginning of the episode is Eddie and Piper have this moment where they're like, hey, so we kissed, and Patricia doesn't know, so let's just not tell her. So that's important. They're not telling Patricia about the kiss. Second, there's this whole like Piper-Patricia tension thing because Patricia doesn't want Piper to be there because she's always stole all the attention from her. But Piper obviously has to stay there now until she can go back to her old school. But then at the end of the episode they have this kind of like sister bonding moment where they both reveal that they've been jealous of each other all this time, and then Patricia's like, you know what? It's fine, you can just stay here if you want. But then, plot twist, at the end of the episode, Alfie goes to talk to Piper because he's like in love with her and he's really excited that it's Piper and not Patricia that he's in love with, but she tells him that she is leaving the school and going back to her old one because of the conversation she had with Patricia. So it's really good for Piper because she's kind of like realized her love of music and it's kind of like continuing to follow her dreams or whatever, but it's bad also because Alfie is just like crushed, so they have this really sad moment, but it's also really cute. And that is pretty much the end of the Piper arc, because I think this is the last episode we see her in. Second arc is the Jerome-Jasper arc. Jerome shows Jasper the letter from Trudy that says, help me down it, and then Jasper's kind of like, okay, this is not good, the collector's probably kidnapped her. So then Jerome's freaking out, like, oh no, what do we do? And Jasper tells him that they need to find something of the Frobisher Smythes and do a trade. So Jerome's all like, so you want me to steal for you? And he's like, yeah, this is the life I live now, you're welcome. And yeah. It's kind of bad. So then Jerome kind of starts snooping around trying to find something of the Frobisher Smythe that he can trade, and he ends up eyeing the dollhouse at the end of the episode, but before he can take it, all this smoke starts coming out, and that's the last we see of him trying to steal it. So that's really bad for Sabuna because they need that dollhouse to do their task. And speaking of Sabuna, the third arc of this episode is the Sabuna arc. While they're down exploring the tunnels some more in the next chamber where they need to finish their task, they find another secret passageway that's closed. But instead of using Nina's necklace, they need to use an amulet, but the amulet is the one they don't have, it's the one that Victor has. So they hatch up this plan to steal it from Victor by using a magic trick. At the end of the episode, Alfie tries to do a disappearing act trick with Victor's amulet, but he ends up breaking both the fake amulet and the real amulet, so everyone's freaking out, and that's where the episode ends. Alright, so my favorites this episode, Fabian kind of dominates my favorites of this episode a lot. The first happens when Alfie's showing Sabuna his special like disappearing trick in the first place. He uses Fabian's watch, and then he ends up accidentally breaking it, so that makes Sabuna like really like nervous about even using Alfie's plan in the first place, but Fabian's reaction to having his watch broken is like the funniest thing ever. He just sits there like, my calculator watch, and it's so funny, like his face is priceless. Second happens in the tunnel when Sankara approaches them because they're trying to figure out what to do, and she's kind of like, hey, hurry up guys or whatever, but just in like a more Sankara way. And then she goes away, and then Fabian gets like all serious and is like, just leave her alone. It's a really bad impression, but he got like, I don't know, it was just like really like deep and like dark almost. I don't know, it was a really good line and good delivery by Brad. It was just a good, made you love Fabian kind of moment. Third favorite Fabian moment happened when they were discussing doing the trick again. Alfie's like, no, I really want to do the thing where I pretend to destroy it or whatever, and they're telling him no, you can't do it. And he's like, come on guys, and then Fabian's like, oh, what time is it? And he shows his watch that isn't there because it's broken, and it was just really funny. And my last favorite moment of this episode is just the Pythie that happened at the end, as I was saying before. It was just like really sweet, and like Alfie's begging her to stay, like literally on his knees begging, and it was so adorable. And they have these moments before where they're doing magic tricks and recognizing each other's talents, and then she kisses him on the cheek before she leaves, and it was just so adorable. Like, I ship them so hard. They're definitely an OTP of mine. I was so sad that Piper's not really here for long. Hoping she comes back. Okay, so next episode is House of Tricks, House of Whispers. There's also 3 arcs in this one. The first is the Sabuna arc. So we find out at the beginning of this episode that Alfie did not break the amulet. He had 2 fake ones that he broke to make Victor think that both amulets in existence were broken, when in reality he actually stole the real one and hid it, so they were safe and everyone was happy. Later on, Nina and Fabian decide to go into Vera's room to find the Cup of Ankh because they think it might be a reflector, but when they go up there they realize it's not because there's no little falcon symbol on it. But when they're up there, they hear someone else come up there. First, Jerome comes trying to find anything Frobisher Smythe related, especially the dollhouse because it's gone, but I'll talk about that later. And then after Jerome's up there, Vera comes, and so then Jerome's hiding and Nina and Fabian are hiding, and Vera gets a phone call from the Collector, and she starts talking about the mystery and stuff. So then Sabuna's kind of freaked out because now Fabian and Nina know that Vera has something to do with the mystery. They don't know why she needs the Mask of Anubis or why she knows about the tunnels, but they just know it's bad that she knows that they're after the same thing that they are. And the last really important Sabuna thing that happened is that they used the amulet that they stole from Victor to go find a new secret tunnel down in the tunnels, and this one actually leads straight into the library. And while they're there, they hear Jerome and Jasper arguing. So they're kind of confused about that. Which leads us to the Jerome-Jasper arc. So, first things first, Jerome tells Jasper about the dollhouse, and he thinks it'll be a good thing to show to the Collector, and he actually has a video of the house all like smoking up from when he found it in the first place. So Jasper's like, yes, this will be good. Now we just have to steal it. So Jerome goes to steal it one day, and it's gone because Nina and the gang realized that the dollhouse was pushed back from the wall, so they were suspecting someone was going to take it, so they locked it up. So when Jerome went to go steal it, he couldn't find it. So then that's when he goes to tell Jasper, and then they're kind of like arguing back and forth and trying to figure out what to do, and that's what Sabuna hears. So that's what makes everything suspicious. So it's bad for Jerome and Jasper, kind of good for Sabuna, but then also bad for Trudy, who's still kidnapped by the Collector, and she's still like waiting to be rescued. Last arc is Patricia and Eddie. At the beginning of the episode, Piper leaves and she gives her necklace to Patricia, so when Eddie sees Patricia, she thinks it's Piper because of the necklace. So he tells her that he feels bad about kissing her and not telling Patricia, but it's actually Patricia, so then Patricia gets really mad, but she can't do anything about it. So she starts acting like really mean to Eddie and like ignoring him. So Eddie's confused, so he tries to make Patricia jealous by hanging out with Mara more, but Mara's just like, what the heck are you doing? So eventually Patricia's like, okay, this gotta stop, so she pulls Eddie away from Mara at one point, and they go into Mr. Sweet's office and they start talking, and they have this really sweet heart-to-heart, and it's like, okay, no more secrets, we're gonna start telling each other everything, and it's fine. The only thing that Eddie says he wants to keep a secret is the whole thing with his dad, but at that point Patricia accidentally sat on the loudspeaker, so then the entire school now knows that Eddie's dad is Mr. Sweet. Okay, I don't really have any like favorite moments. I do have a least favorite moment though. After the school found out Eddie's secret, they walk out and everyone's kind of surrounding them. And the first one to start making fun of Eddie is Alfie. And I was just like, really? Come on, Alfie, I know you're a prankster, but that was really low. That's really mean. So then the entire school kind of like follows after Alfie, and they're all making fun of Eddie, and he's just sitting there like, oh no. And Mr. Sweet comes, and you can tell he feels so bad, and it's really heartbreaking to watch. It was sad. Alright, so the next episode is House of Duplicity, House of Hauntings. First with the Sabuna arc. During this episode they find another reflector. It ends up being a goblet thing that's in the cupboard in the kitchen. The dollhouse gives them a clue and they end up just searching around and finding it. So that was really good for them. Later on they determined that based on the Zodiac, they think that the next piece is the eye of the doll that was used way back in the beginning of season 2, the one that gave them the clue with the Book of Isis. However, they think Trudy might have thrown it out, so that's a problem for them. And then the last really important thing is while they're in the tunnels, they realize that this piece on the wall that has the moon and the sun, the moon is getting closer to the sun, so they think it's like a timer for how much time they have left, and that's really a big problem because they don't have all the pieces, so they have to work a lot faster. Alright, so Jerome-Jasper arc. Jerome ends up finding this doll that Sabuna needs, but he doesn't know Sabuna needs it, obviously, and he realizes that it's Sarah's, and then he also sees that, or hears that it gives the clue, so he thinks it's something that the Collector might be interested in rather than the dollhouse, so he gives it to Jasper. And then they end up going to meet the Collector, and Vera's with them, so then Jerome's kind of like, oh, Vera's bad, I should have known. And the Collector does not like the doll. He wants the dollhouse, so that's a problem for Jerome and Jasper. And last arc is Eddie, Patricia, Mara kind of drama. Eddie's really mad at Patricia for sitting on the loudspeaker and accidentally revealing his secret. He thinks she did it on purpose as revenge, but really she didn't. That doesn't stop him from being mad. So Joy wants him to look at some tapes for articles she wants him to write, so he's looking at all these tapes and it's just like the house, and he ends up seeing an apparition of Sankara appear for like 2 seconds, and he gets really excited all of a sudden, and he goes to show Mara and Patricia, and Mara was like, whoa, that's really cool, it looks like a person, and then Patricia's like, oh crap, he's not supposed to know about Sankara, no one needs to know about Sankara, we gotta talk him out of it. So she's trying to be like, no, ghosts don't exist, and he's not buying it. So that's a problem for Sabuna. And then later he and Mara go ghost hunting, so they set up some cameras in the living room and they start trying to see if they can find some apparitions of the ghost again. Okay, so favorite moments. My favorite moment is the Medi ghost hunting scene. Medi, Mara, and Eddie, they were kind of acting pretty shippable during this episode. Like, Mara's kind of like bossing him around the way Patricia does, and then Eddie decides to turn off the lights because she thinks it'll attract the ghosts better, and then Mara starts getting really scared and is like, oh, Eddie, come here, like, I'm scared or whatever, and then, like, they're kind of leaning close to each other because they're watching the computer, and it's like, oh, you guys are being really shippable right now. So, I like their friendship, and I don't think it'll ever become anything, but they'd be a really cute ship, I think. And then the other part that made that funny was that Patricia gets really jealous, so, like, she's kind of, like, spying on them while it's happening because Sabuna's about to go onto a mission, so she's able to watch them, and then when they're in the tunnel, she can hear them above them, so she, like, yells at them to turn the lights back on, and they think it's a ghost, and she's just, like, really jealous, and it was just so funny.